Welcome to the Mostly Traverse City podcast. I'm Julie Bronze.
And I'm Don Pichet.
Each episode, we introduce you to the real treasure of TC, its people.
You're invited to get to know the soul of Traverse City, one story at a time. Enjoy the latest episode of the Mostly Traverse City podcast. Welcome to the Mostly Traverse City podcast, and I'm here with my friend Russ Springsteen. Russ,
yeah, thanks for having me.
We're at this iconic place, and this is one of the coolest Traverse City stories in the last 20 or 25 years. We're going to talk a little bit about with Russ. We're at Right Brain Brewery. This is eclectic. Is not like doesn't even scratch what's going on here. This is quite a place, Russ. So I'm so glad that we get a chance to catch up and talk. We haven't seen each other in a few years.
We're busy.
It's a busy place. Tell me a little bit about first of all, how are you in Traverse City? Like, how is this your place?
This is, my wife grew up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife grew up here, and I met her. I cut her hair. I'm a barber hairstylist.
Okay.
So that was one of my first careers. And
so
I cut her hair.
You cut her hair and then married
down in East Lansing. Met her down in East Lansing.
Okay.
Cut her hair. Got married. Moved up here in 2000 and had 2 kids. Started a salon. Then the next year I started the brewery.
Yeah, I remember.
And very quickly I had 2 kids and 2 businesses and a really unhappy wife.
Is she happy yet?
She's happy.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. As I tell people, she did not sign up for this.
Yeah, well,
she's about as thick as she can be.
You know, it's interesting, and we're over a year of podcasts that we've done, and one of the cool things that I find with the interesting people that call this place home is life never goes in the direction you think it's going, you know. And it always seems to make these, and we didn't sign up for that, you know what I mean?
Right.
In fact, what we signed up would have been pretty damn boring if you think about it.
Yeah, well, it's not
You'd still be cutting hair. And now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you used to be able to get a beer when you got a haircut or something? Or
Oh, yeah. So I opened the salon in 2006 in the warehouse district.
Okay, yes.
And nothing was developed there yet. We were
Right, it was a warehouse.
And so we opened the salon saloon.
Yeah,
That was my dream. I'd spent years researching and putting together a business plan, and saving money. I used to flip houses before it was a real big thing.
Okay.
I would buy a house and fix it up and turn it, and that's how I got some of the income to be able to do this, and living incredibly frugal.
You know, like a serious entrepreneur. Like,
I know, yeah. I can't even spell it. I just had ideas, and I didn't. I grew up in the Flint area. What I said, I will never do. I will never go in and work in the shop. I'll never work production. Now, never say never. You took a walk back there.
Oh, it's amazing back there.
It's production. It's commercial production brewing. Commercial brewing. And there's production.
We spent a lot of time here because we started the Traverse City Curling Club. You know, your space was like our clubhouse. You know, and we meet up here before a cold beer or after the match or whatever, and super cool. So like that hair cutting. Have a beer that you were home brewing, I guess, right? You didn't have this thing going on yet.
No, I was home brewing. I started home brewing in the early 90s. I lived out in Boulder, Colorado, with my sister lived out there.
Yeah.
My husband, Mark, my brother-in-law, was a home brewer from the 70s. An old hippie that made his own beer.
A hippie in Colorado?
Got me hooked on homebrewing.
Yeah.
And the Homebrewers Association is out of Boulder. So I had all these connections.
Yeah.
All these old timers who had been doing it. I mean, they'd written books. I got to meet them. I didn't even know they were going to be famous.
Yeah.
And so I became absolutely obsessed with homebrewing. The fact that I could do that. My love for beer came earlier. It came as a competitive wrestler. And in high school, when I was 17, I had the opportunity to wrestle in Germany. where
And access to
I could
a
sit
beverage that you weren't
Yeah.
had access to
I
here.
could, we were drinking beer in the back 40. I fell in love with the culture there. And
Yeah.
then I had the opportunity my senior year to go back and wrestle again and enjoy more beverages.
Yeah.
That got me hooked on drinking really good beer.
Yeah. So you
And
got to
being
taste the difference
discerning.
between a Blatz and a beer.
A Budweiser brewed in Germany is not the same as a Budweiser brewed here. So finding those nuances, I was pretty fascinated about that. And then I got into home brewing and became obsessed. Moved back to Michigan in like 91, went to work for my dad, appraising real estate. So that's where I learned how to flip houses back in the early 90s. There were 7 breweries in the state in 91 or 92.
In the state of Michigan.
Yeah. Travers Brewing Company being license number 7, I believe. In the mid 90s, when it was a struggle because
that was a brand new product. You're selling something new to
who was going to drink a craft beer.
Right.
The big breweries made sure that they made life absolutely miserable.
I remember us talking a bit about that.
And so they did a pretty good job of that. They're no longer in business, but they gave me opportunity. So I moved up here in 2000, and I'm a workaholic. I just work a lot, even still.
Yes.
But I had saved my money, and I took a sabbatical. My family made fun of me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I work 7 days a week, and I'm only 30. I'm early 30. And I took a sabbatical for 6 weeks, and my wife said, man, you really got to find something to do.
Yeah.
You gotta. So I went, and I was either going to go up to John's barbershop up in Suttons Bay to use my barber license.
Yeah.
Or I really wanted to brew. So I had dropped off an application up there. And
At the barbershop.
No.
With the.
I never got there. I had dropped off earlier in the summer before I moved. I'd been up to the brewery up Travers Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And then I walked in one day and they said, wow, your ears ringing? We're trying to find your application. And I'm like, well, I'm here.
No kidding.
They said, we got this guy, Joe Short is quitting and we got to replace him. So he was quitting and I took his job brewing with John Niedermeyer. So
right.
3 of us are doing our own thing. So they gave us opportunity. They gave us opportunity, which I'm thankful for. So I brewed there a year, and then I moved on and really started to focus. I had spent years working on a business plan. So I went to SCORE.
Yeah.
So I went and took my 25-page business plan with 5-year. I had quite an intricate plan.
Yeah.
And at the end of this meeting, this guy, 2 older gentlemen, said, "Why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you even
You don't
here?"
need our help, right?
And I was just like, I was like, oh, why? And he said, people come to us with a business plan on the back of a napkin.
Yeah.
He said, you have a 25-page business plan with intricate details.
Yeah.
You need to go to the bank.
Yes.
So I went through that process and was promptly denied. Before I even got home, the letter was there. You're denied. No, thank you. We're not investing in restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not a restaurant.
So you have to,
It's
you
a
have to paint the
salon
picture.
and a brewery.
Yeah.
And no, the banks weren't really biting on that.
Yeah.
So I used my own money. I saved my own money. I opened the salon to create the cash flow and then opened the brewery. I did find an investor. So they came on and helped me get it launched back in the warehouse district.
Yes.
Learning curves are more like a V.
Yeah.
So, I showed you the tanks back there. We started with a 7-barrel brew house that I went out to California and bought used. Learned how to hire a truck, put it on a truck. I went out and loaded that entire brewery by myself onto a truck and came back here and unloaded it. Fortunately, kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah,
The hard
it's
way.
crazy.
If you're determined, you can do anything.
Well, and you've shown that this place is I gotta believe exactly the way you've imagined it.
No, no way. Not even close.
No?
The way I imagined it was back in the warehouse district to have a small little place where I could cut hair and I had two-way windows so that I could look down the bar while I was cutting
Oh,
hair.
gotcha.
So that I could watch my bartenders and
Yeah.
see what was happening. And
Do you want to change it back then?
no, no, because
This
it's
one's better?
No, it's always evolving. It's
Yeah.
it's business.
Yeah.
It's, I don't care if I'm making pencils. The industry changes. You change
Yeah.
with it. You have
It's-
to adapt. And
Yeah, it's been huge, and we were just talking about some of those changes. What do you have on the menu? Long drink.
long drinks. Long drinks. So Traverse City cherry long drink.
Yeah.
It's my biggest selling product, fastest selling product ever. We launched it last summer. We smoked through it. We smoked through it in a month. Distribution took some, but we were selling like 5 cases a day out of the pub. I don't sell 5 cases of anything in a month, let alone in a day. And by the third week of July, we were out. And distribution said, make another batch.
Yeah.
And I said, no, because it will, no, I'll do it and the season will be over
Right.
and then it'll fade.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be stuck with all this product
Yeah.
trying to.
So yeah, I
Get it
do
outta
you know
here.
more about that.
Well, I listened to my wife. She said, are you foolish? Make another batch. Do it now. Get it going. So I did. And by second week of August, I had it back on the shelf
Yeah.
or in the pub. And man, we smoked it out again.
Yeah.
So we're out right now. We have been able to get Pure Michigan to sign on because it's all Michigan products. It's Michigan beet sugar. It's local cherries from King Orchards. Of course, the water comes right from the bay. So
Yeah.
all the ingredients in that
It's-
can
it's all
are,
Michigan.
are all locally Michigan produced. So
It's awesome.
now we'll relaunch this in the first week of May. We'll get our cans in,
Yeah.
kind of redoing our label, figuring out what we didn't know then. Now,
Right.
know a
Absolutely.
little more.
Which is constantly been what you've been doing in this
Yeah.
space, in this place, and
Figure it out.
trying and adapting. I remember, I'm looking at all those different beers up there that you guys have, and part of the, I don't know what's happening in the beer culture. I would think that if we go back 15 years,
Yeah.
when we
Peak.
started the curling, it was like,
Yeah, that
it
was
was
the
on the
peak.
grow.
Yeah,
and it's
that
kind
was
of
peak
tapering
time.
off, but
12 to 17 were probably the peak, and we've since declined then. And the beer sales
overall,
beer,
not
wine,
just, yeah.
liquor nationwide are down almost 30% in the last 4 years.
Is that right?
So it's just it's trends
Yeah.
trending down. The youth aren't drinking.
Yeah.
They just aren't.
Yeah.
They just came out with a study that 20 somethings that 48% don't imbibe in any alcohol or any illicit drugs or weed or at all or sex. So our population's going to drop. The other 52% are moderate users, and
So
my
it's-
children are early 20s and they're not real big drinkers, probably because they grew up around an
Yeah.
old man who was drinking and in it. And
Yeah.
so, or maybe
It's
that just the
interesting.
youth is just not drinking as hard.
It's
So,
interesting.
but
Well,
they
it's
are,
just like everything else. It's just
they're just being a lot more conscious
Yeah.
about how
Yeah.
they do that. So it's
Well, I know-
interesting.
I know-
Everything trends,
yeah.
things
for sure.
change.
I think one of the things that was really cool. I think your sort of logo. I'm looking at it over there. Catchphrase is "Keep beer curious,"
Yeah.
and,
Well,
and
we were making crazy beers.
yeah, and I gotta say, like, it was during the curling season. It was near the end of the curling season, and it was right when asparagus season was going on, probably.
That's true. We
the-
were asked by the Asparagus Festival out in Empire
Somewhere, yeah,
if we would we do their festival, bring beer.
yeah,
And I said, what are you having? And they said, well, everything's asparagus. And I said, do you want us to make an asparagus beer?
yeah.
And they're like, can you? And I'm like, heck yeah, we can do anything we put our minds to.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
So to
Oh, that beer is-
mask the flavor of the asparagus, because I didn't know what would turn out, we cooked it over over charcoal.
Yeah.
But then we since learned we didn't need that, so we put it on gas. We roast. We still do this once a year, a very small batch. We sell some to the festival. The rest sells through the pub. We sell it.
And it goes
out.
fast too.
Yeah, we sell it out,
Yeah.
and we just roast asparagus and dry hop with it.
Man, it's crazy.
So
Oh,
we've
it's,
done that.
it's super
We've made
tasty. I'll
beer
tell you
with
what.
pig heads.
Oh yes, that I've had that.
That's got me a visit
little-
from the feds. That's a true story. It's hard to get the feds involved. Until, they were already involved. They were already kind of peckering at me because of the ingredients we used. We used all these farm ingredients,
Yeah.
and they weren't used to that.
Right.
And so they were.
What's the book say
They
about
were
a
kind
pig?
of they were kind of bending me over at that time. And then I went to a dinner that we had donated to when they killed the Mongolista pig, and then the college put on this 5-course dinner,
Yeah.
all paired with wine. And I said, why can't there be beer?
Yeah.
What if the whole thing was old world? They threw very little of this pig away. And I said,
Yeah.
what gets thrown away? And they said, the head minus the brain and tongue, cheek. And they take the cheek. So the skull and bones. And I said, well, we can take those and smoke them and make a beer out of it. And then Mongolista pig porter. So we took that to the Great American Beer Festival, won a gold medal with it
That is
as an
crazy.
experimental beer. Came back on Tuesday. And I got a call from the feds. They said,
Oh my
"We're coming
gosh.
for a visit." But we had gotten national attention. We were on radio stations. We had a guy come in after the weekend, and he was in Phoenix. And he said, "What are you doing? You're all over the radio out there." I was like, "What? I wasn't." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you were."
Yeah.
So I had to come here to find out
Check out
what
what's
exactly
happening.
you're doing. Anyway, we got through it.
Yeah.
They were worried about safe brewing practices and food handling practices,
Right.
but we'd already made a video for them with our supplier because I knew it was coming.
Yeah, right,
I didn't
right. It's
expect.
not your first
I never
rodeo.
expected to win a medal, honestly, and then to win a gold, and then really get all the attention, wanted or unwanted, and dealing with the ag department and dealing with that. So we proved that we have safe brewing practices,
yeah.
pretty particular.
So
about that.
it's kind of cool because you are just by being who you are, you kind of push the edges, and which required you to also be very diligent and responsible and not flippant, which could have easily
I can't be.
you can be, but you're not with this business. I mean, you
I'm pretty serious
you're
about it.
pretty serious about it,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing what you've created and the culture that goes on here, and I don't know.
Yeah, the
that
people you can try to create a culture, but the people that come in here, they're the ones that form it.
Well, of course.
So if you give them a space,
Right.
then they can change it. So I'll talk about. Everybody thought I was crazy. Well, number one, they thought I was crazy that I was opening a salon and a brewery at the same time.
Right.
Fortunately, it happened. We opened a month after the economic crash in 2007. And it was just such a strange story. Newspapers, media were looking for anything positive,
Yeah.
any positive story they
Right.
could get.
Right.
And this crazy idea up in Traverse City didn't make sense.
Yeah.
How can I get a beer and not get hair in it? Well, I think we can figure that out. So it blew up. We were in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
And we were in the old spot. We outgrew that space. I reached my 5-year growth in 6 months.
Wow.
We, at one point, sold so much beer so fast, we ran out of beer. And I had to close down for about 4 or 5 days because we were out of beer. And people coming up from downstate were furious with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. We're selling beer faster than we can
Gosh.
make it. So bought a couple more tanks, packed it into that space, outgrew that space. Within probably 2 years, we had completely outgrown that space. There was a time when somebody said, we don't go there. And I said, why not? What did I do? And they said, we're too busy.
Yeah.
I'm like, too busy? They said, yeah, we'll get to the outside door and we can hear how loud it is and how packed it is, and we don't want to be in a packed
Yeah.
bar anymore. So that's when we started looking for new locations.
Yeah.
I had to have an
And-
ability
and-
to grow and to grow distribution. I said I would never distribute. Never's a long time. We're now distributed statewide,
Yeah.
just in Michigan.
Yeah. That is
So.
awesome. What a great story. What a you know,
Say
you-
never, but never believe it.
you know, just the fact that you just kind of always found a way to solve a problem. And
You evolve.
the
Just
problem really wasn't not that you didn't have hiccups and challenges with brewing a beer, but that was probably the easiest part compared to all the other stuff
Kind
you had to
of.
go
I had to
through.
run a business. Bob Sutherland, he was one of my hair clients at the beginning. He started getting interesting people around town that that wanted me to cut their hair, and so that was great. Well, Bob sat there one day, and I remember him looking in the mirror and saying, "You're not going to be able to do this very much longer." And I said, "What? No, I'm a barber hairstylist. This is my life, and I can do that." And he said, "No, Russ, pretty soon you're not going to be brewing or cutting hair. You're going to be running a business." And I'm like, "No, I won't. No, this is good."
Yeah.
He jinxed me. But I've, that's been almost 20 years.
Yeah.
I watch what he does, I watch what other entrepreneurs do, and he was right. He was totally right. So I still work in my business, but I still have to run the business. And my wife is fully on board now. At the time, she was raising kids. I
Yeah.
was gone all the
Yeah.
time. And she was
Yeah.
unhappy because I was working
Right.
80, 90 hours a
Right.
week.
Just like what you have to do to run a business.
You do it.
It is
Yeah,
kind of
you
an
know.
interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I think people think, "Oh, you're a rich business owner. You're
Oh,
around
yeah.
all the time."
Well,
It's
I'll show you my books.
Yeah,
I would
I mean-
make some people squirm.
yeah, but
Yeah,
well,
you
you
got to
know,
take chances. I mean, we've been through ups and downs. We've, been on the brink of foreclosure. My bank got bought out. They called my notes. I was actually trying to merge with another brewery for long-term exit strategy. That failed. That cost me a lot of lost sales,
Yeah.
a lot of relationships, created a lot of anger. I was pretty angry.
but you
You
rose
can't
up.
foreclose on me. Anyway, we got through it. COVID
Yeah.
came, we got through it, and we thrived.
Yeah.
During COVID, we were able to open. We had the outdoor space.
Yeah.
We had our little refugee camp that I had built out of used cooler panels. COVID really sharpened,
Yeah,
COVID helped
creativity was like,
creativity and survival.
yeah,
It was survival, and how do you survive? So
Yeah.
we had already brought in. When I first moved here, I had all these big picnic tables that we had built out of the rafters, out of an office in here,
yeah,
because I wanted a community meeting space.
yes,
So remember, we used to host politicians. We don't do that anymore. Those days are unfortunately gone. But we could have both sides in here. You can meet your candidates. I wanted an old school beer hall like
Yeah.
Ben
Yeah.
Franklin had.
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And we had that. And then COVID came and we had to get rid of all those tables. We could only have, tables of 4 people and all the BS that went along with that. But we noticed the pinball. So all the
Yeah.
families disappeared. There were no kids for 2 summers. And then we started bringing in more pinball. So now we've got a pinball league. And just how things evolve, our community is constantly evolving. It's not like it was 20 years ago.
Right.
Change happens, growth happens. Try to do as best you can. And I forgot where I was going. Oh, I know.
Pinball.
We're back to having families here
Yeah.
again.
Good.
We've had 5 one-year-old birthday parties in here in the last 6 weeks. We don't promote that.
Yeah, right.
We're not out
But you
pushing
created a
that.
community. That's-
Somewhere in the community, and I think I know where, people have said, hey, you got a safe, easy space. The kids can be entertained. The adults can be relaxed. They can have a couple beers, and the kids can be entertained, and so can the adults.
You have created a culture.
Yeah, but back in 2021, you know, that Traverse City, comes out of the New York Times. So in 2021, Traverse City was the #1 forwarding zip code in the country from the coasts.
Yeah.
My wife, who grew up here, said, "Oh, this is going to be more people." And I said, "I know. More people in the winter who live here. They moved from LA.
Yeah.
They're living here. They still work in LA.
Yeah.
They're working out of their office in their home. They have
Yeah.
LA income. I mean, it's changed our
Oh,
demographic
it is.
here.
It is absolutely.
But I believe that's part of the demographic that has evolved with us.
Yeah.
That just happened.
Yeah.
So evolution, it's constantly happening.
So Traverse City is really a birthplace of what just a really cool story. And Right Brain is not just a local beer. It's known all throughout Michigan. I know that for a fact. And probably the
And we got
Midwest.
fans around the country
Around
too.
the country
So,
by now, sure, with all the people that come here and what a cool thing. So you know, Traverse City it is your space now, your place.
yeah,
What do you love
We
best
love this
about it?
place.
What do you love best about it?
Traverse City?
Yeah, I mean, what you know,
Oh, look at all of our natural resources.
Yeah.
#1.
How do you take advantage
You know,
of it? Like,
I'm training new brewers. They're young, they're new, they're ambitious, and they were dumping fresh water down the drain the other day, and I was like, "Whoa, stop! We live on one of the greatest natural resources in the world. We don't abuse our fresh water." And their eyes are this big. I wasn't mad.
yeah,
Like, you're gonna move that to another tank. We can reheat it again. Well, we don't put fresh water down the drain because we can't figure out what to do with it.
yeah,
And so, you know, building this stewardship that
Yeah,
you
that's
get your
really
people
cool,
on.
yeah.
We once went to a brewers conference in Nashville, and we sat in a water class. And, you know, in California, you're only allowed so many 100,000 gallons of water a year. You make it up, you're done. And then it's really super expensive. But they were talking about just the stewardship of water. And my brewer looks over and he said, "We're way ahead of the game. We are way ahead of the game, don't you think?" And I said, "I think we are."
yeah,
But
yeah. And you
they
respect
felt
it.
good about it. They felt
Yeah.
proud about that.
Yeah, that's cool. So,
So-
speaking of that, maybe a little off track here, but we just walked around back there, and you got a couple new young brewers, and you
Yeah.
mentioned that there's actually a brewing school or
Yeah,
program.
there's a few throughout the state. Kalamazoo Valley Community College
Okay.
offers a brewing program. This kid applied for me and he said, I'm doing an online program there. And I'm like, online program? Okay. So I kind of looked into it, and you know, the industry is pretty
There's not
small.
a bazillion people.
It is
there.
big enough, but small enough. So I know some of the instructors there, dealt with them. So I reached out to them and said, before I get this kid involved, what are you doing? And they're like, well, we're launching an online program. We have 2 students right now.
Yeah.
One's in South Korea and the other's in Traverse City. And I'm like, really? Well, how about I hire this kid? He gets a paid internship. You and I are going to talk about, before we even introduce this kid, how are we going to do this?
Right.
What are you teaching him? What do you want me to teach him? How do you want to do it? How do you want me to do it? And they're like, you do what you're doing. We'll mold, and we're going to slingshot this kid
Yeah.
through the program. So he's back there. Usually you have to work your way up to the brew house, but we're going to start him up there. So he's learning all about grains, water, pH, the pH of the water, the hops. He's learning science.
Cool. So you
back
systematize something that was done by just what I know in my head, and I'm regurgitating that. You guys are starting to systematize that so that we can get the these are non-negotiables about creating beer,
Yeah.
and this is the right brain stuff over
there.
here.
And then
What a
at
cool-
the end of his program, he gets a degree and he's got a full-time job.
Right.
I mean, I'm a little selfish because
Oh yeah.
I need to hire brewers. It's really difficult hiring people. I mean, we've been so short-handed for several years.
Yeah.
Not,
I mean,
not
anybody you
since
take on
COVID,
as a brewer,
but before.
you
Take
got
on
to
a
teach them
brewer.
how to be one.
Yeah, and they got to have some passion for
Right,
it. They
for
got to
sure.
have a little bit of love and passion for it. So I've got some guys back there that are really interested in it.
Yeah.
They can listen to me, and they do what I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And then
That's
if you got an idea, bring it to me, and we'll fit that in. But anyway, I have a pretty good thing happening back there right now, and up here in the front with my bar staff, just having good bartenders and leadership
Yeah.
people, culture.
What a cool thing you've done. Someone's new to Traverse City.
What do?
How would you
think? You come, you park in our parking lot,
park it, right, Brian?
and then you get your bike, or you walk around the loop,
Yeah.
around the lake. It's a 4-mile loop. So we
It's like an epicenter
so
of the lappers.
when we moved here, people thought I was crazy because I was moving away from downtown.
Right.
Who's ever going to go there? Well, they told me that because I was going to build a brewery and a salon between two breweries. That didn't make sense. Well, it worked.
Yeah.
And so when we came out here,
They
it
made a
worked really
trail
well.
for you.
Yeah, I remember sitting down with Russ Springsteen, the old city manager.
Yeah.
I really liked him. He was very forward thinking. He had a lot of ideas that people didn't agree with
Right.
because
Because they were new.
they just weren't forward thinking, or they were old timers that didn't want any change. We got to keep it exactly like it was in 1974. Well, that's impossible. So he said, Russ, you're 20 years ahead of my business plan, or for our city plan.
Yeah.
And here's what's happening. And
Yeah.
he goes, and we're working on building this trail. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, it took 8 or 10 years. 10 years? Well, anyway, that opened 2 summers ago. It's huge. It's great for our business.
Yeah.
We're getting tourists come here. They now know about this trail
Right.
with Tart Trails. What a great resource.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. What a cool
being
thing.
able to
What a cool thing.
do that.
Question for you here is that I don't know if I shared this beforehand for you to think about it, but what do you think your superpower is?
My superpower?
Your superpower.
I'm resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's my. Well, I'm just resilient.
You
changed.
you know
Life
I
changes.
when you now I didn't know your story about wrestling, being a wrestler.
Yeah.
When I think about the wrestlers I know are they're just dogged competitors. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
They,
I grew up
them
that
getting
way.
knocked down didn't matter to them one iota.
No. If you're
Well, they
bleeding-
just
if you're
figured out,
bleeding like
okay, I
that.
got to do something different. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, and I know your story enough. I learned a ton about it today. I think it's amazing. And
Yeah, resilient and disciplined. So when I was in high school wrestling, I had to cut weight. So I would cut down from 150 pounds of muscle down to 126
oh,
pounds and have to hold that weight for
so you're
3-4
you're
months.
not you're not averse to being uncomfortable, or at least you knew what it felt like to be uncomfortable.
No, I didn't like being cold. I still don't. I was always cold. I had no body fat on me. We had a wood burning kit, and it was driving my dad nuts because I would lean back on the wood burner and burn my neck, then jump out of there. You know, damn.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, being resilient. It taught me discipline. I still use those lessons. As a junior in high school, I wrestled in the state championship match. I'd only lost once that year, and I got throttled. I got beat 9-1. I got put on my back.
Yeah.
I got throttled. I got humiliated, and I wasn't a state champion. The next year, I went out my senior year, and that kid beat me again pretty hard. And then he was the first match at the state championships. He had lost.
Okay, you
and
you
we
saw him
went
before
down.
the state championship.
I had wrestled him twice that season, and he throttled me. And then he was the first match at the state championship.
Round 1.
I wanted to be a state champion.
Yeah.
I had to win 4 matches. I got ankle picked and taken to my back in about the first 15 seconds because I didn't innovate. I was the same. I never changed. I was predictable, and he knew it. And he beat me 14-3. And I had to wrestle all the way through, knowing that I wouldn't be a state champion. Best I could do was third. And to me, that was failure. And I have carried that failure with me in my entire life. That because I didn't innovate and I didn't change, I didn't adapt. And so those are life lessons that I've
Yeah, that's power.
have kind of been
That's
my
power
foundation.
stuff, bro, right there.
I hate losing.
You know, this has been way more right brain than I ever would have imagined.
Right brain?
You
You want
and
to know where right brain came from?
I would like to know, but I just am feeling right brain, and maybe our audience doesn't even know what that's all about. But yeah,
Right brain came from, I had a creative writing class when I was a senior in high school. And we came in, and the teacher said, okay, we're all going to take a test. Can't do it right. You can't do it wrong. Statistically, only 3 or 4 of you will be the answers. I'm like, all right, so fill out and I ended up being the only kid that was right brain due to this test. And my teacher said, you did it wrong. You had to have done it wrong. It's like you said, we couldn't do it wrong. So I would come in every day and say, I'm right brain, you know. My parents would have throttled me had they known I was giving my teacher any grief.
yeah,
But we had a personality conflict, obviously. So that's where I got the name.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Right brain is where creativity comes.
Yeah. And I feel bad I gave her static now, being older.
Well, a lot of times teachers aren't right brained at all. They're completely
No, small town. She
but
was,
whatever.
you know.
It is what it is. Well, it's first of all, I had to tell you, like my life, knowing you and being part of your life in the last few years is not been as much. We spent a lot of time in here 5 or 10 years ago. What you've done in this community to be bold enough to say, I can make this work. Look at the permission that you've given. I don't know how many breweries are in this town, a dozen anyway,
At least.
at least.
A lot.
And not just in this town, in this region and in this state, because you were right at the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And kind of to some degree, I know this just from our communication. I don't know how we're going to make it till tomorrow, you know what I mean? But you somehow figured it out. And
Yeah, you keep figuring it out.
and I suppose you take a right brain, dominant person, train him to be a wrestler. And what you've created is an amazing entrepreneur who sets new standards and sees new territory that the world has never seen before. And I admire that about you and grateful
Yeah, thank you.
that I
Appreciate
can be
it.
your friend.
Yeah, thank you.
If you have not been to Right Brain Brewery, it's easy to find. It's going to be the first beer pub that pops up when you look for it here in Traverse City. Come, you're likely to see Russ walking around here, wiping off tables or running in the back room, pouring beer. He does it all, and you do it all with love.
Yeah,
And-
it's a passion for me.
Yeah.
I do love this.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's stressful. You lay awake at night worrying about money.
Yeah, how's it going to work?
It'll work out in the long, and money's
Yeah.
not everything. So
You know,
kind of make.
You've been at this long enough to know, and I have a mentor that told me this one time, is that, somehow, some way, the universe will figure out a way for you to keep winning if you're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
If you
be
treat
nice.
people with integrity,
Yeah.
you're creating something of value for the world. You're just not taking. Somehow, some way, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I know you will continue to do that, and appreciate you being a part of the Mostly Traverse City podcast. Make sure you pop out here and check this place out. And I can't wait to see you again the next time on the Mostly Traverse City podcast.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mostly Traverse City podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep living your own kind of magic.